Hey everybody, Amascut here, back with a new Thoughts On episode, I guess. I'm doing a solo cast today. We've just been very busy and I don't have a decent way to record with multiple people at the moment. But I recorded my gameplay for Violet is Blue on Monday. It is currently Wednesday and I am recording the audio now. Normally I would do them both together, but I didn't have access to recording equipment on Monday because of the holidays and everything. So I'm gonna talk my thoughts about this quest over top of this quest, and you can watch me play it at the same time. So Violet's Blue is a brand new novice level permanent quest created for the winter holiday. But yeah, it's a permanent quest as part of basically the like winter event. I'm really grateful that they're going back to like permanent updates as parts of holidays. It's been a total pain in the butt that they keep wasting dev time on holiday events when we get so few content every year, or so little amount of content every year. And this quest was just really adorable. Mod Ramen, the lead developer on this, actually did a really great job. I was really impressed. The quest was cute, it was funny, it was interesting. I don't think it was the perfect quest. I've got a number of smaller complaints, but the writing was really on point, which I'm really impressed to see. I think Ramen did a really great job of writing this idea of a little girl wanting to go on an adventure, and our players doing a great job of kind of catering to that and being friendly and helpful. So you'll probably notice in this video, I tend to like run around and try and go the wrong way a lot. I was just really curious if I could get away with it, so I just tried to do it as many times as I could. So if it seems like I'm being just really stupid and going a weird direction, it's probably because I'm trying to figure out if I can, like, leave the section that I'm doing. This part was a little weird. I thought I was going to get hit by the snowball, and then I didn't. So, I mean, that was cool. I tried to surge. I'm glad they disabled that, because that would have made it way easier. I really like the introduction to Violet, though. I think it was really cute. I think it was well flavored. You know, she's just this little girl running through a portal, and we're like, ah, shit, we gotta go fix this. So, I will add though, what just happened right here, with the farmstead and all that, is actually one of my biggest complaints with this quest overall, and was similarly a major complaint of mine with Evil Dave's Big Day Out, which was another quest that Ramen worked on. Instancing. The world does not feel connected. It does not feel well put together when you go to a little area, you do a thing, and then you're just teleported to the next area and do another thing there. It doesn't feel like a connected overworld. And that really bothers me. I love this joke, by the way. That joke was really funny. It's almost a little bit of a shame because it actually happens twice in the quest. You can do it again, but this joke is pretty good too. But yeah, I really wish that this part of the Land of Snow had actually been, like, connected, you know? It's really odd to me that it wasn't. Oh, hey, it's funny, actually, I didn't think about this during the quest, but, that melted snowman there, later, when you're doing a snowman puzzle, Violet doesn't know what snowmen are, so... What's going on, Mon Ramen? I'm onto you. I'm watching you. Fix that. It's actually not a big deal. Just a little nitpick. I just only noticed it now, but that's kind of funny. Cute reference here. I like the way that references aren't so overbearing in this. You know, it's not a key part of the plot or anything. It's just a funny little line reference that feels actually pretty natural. I really like the Yeti characters as well. I think they were very well handled. Their models are gorgeous. This farm is gorgeous. And they just did a really good job of making them funny but believable characters who actually care about Violet quite a bit. I like the way our character kind of overreacts constantly, too. I don't know, it's entertaining. It feels pretty in character for our character. There are a couple times where I think the dialogue options aren't quite in character for our character, but I mean, so be it. But yeah, I like the story of this. It's simple, it's small, it fits the holiday season, where basically the idea is little girl wants to go on adventure. And we get to give her a fun adventure. Whew, sorry. Yeah, but I like the dialogue between the Yetis. I wish they were a little less like, oh, gotcha, ha ha ha, all the time. But I think they function pretty well for what they're trying to do, and they're pretty amusing. I know I definitely enjoyed the way they act around us and kind of make fun of us for thinking they're going to be terrible people. Like, come on, we're not. Yeah, the first puzzle coming up, I really liked this puzzle. It actually felt like a fun, like, child's puzzle, but not in a way that was like, oh, you're stupid, but like, oh, this is cute, and this would be the kind of thing we'd do to help out a little kid trying to get ready to, you know, go on a travel, go on a journey that she might be a little scared to do. And I thought that was really well handled. So we head in there, we go chit chat with the little girl. So we're gonna go do that right now. I don't know why I chose to talk to Betty. I was kind of expecting some additional dialogue, I guess. There wasn't any. It's okay. Yeah, so we go talk to Violet. There's some really funny references here. Actually, I really like laughed constantly at some of the like examine texts and everything. They were just really well done. I liked what they did here. So I'm gonna shut up for a minute as this plays. I'm just gonna let you watch this part, because I don't have a lot more feedback other than there's some funny stuff here and I like this. So good job. Alright, we're gonna hop back in right here. I think this is a good spot to resume. This part was a little... I like this part. I like the dialogue here, but what follows up after this actually is where I think some of the negatives really start to come in for me. So they go traveling. You know, we all go traveling, and then we end up in a clearing. And you're gonna see that in just a second. So they tell you to eat some stew. They make some jokes. For some reason, our character really doesn't want to eat the stew, and Violet loves the mention of pickled pink pancakes again. Super cute. She's just really well written. Like, I really, really enjoy her dialogue. I was very impressed with how she was handled and how she was written. Yeah, so we get going. We end up in this clearing, and, you know, here's the next problem is like, hey, ready to go on an adventure? And we stand outside for half a second, play a line of dialogue, and then we just go through another cutscene and get instanced to another spot. Just really not a fan of that. I don't know why they did that. It always annoys me, because it's like, what is the point of instancing this when we could walk it? Like, we could walk the full thing. Anyway, we're going to talk about this puzzle. I've noticed that Ramen, in his puzzles, tends to kind of do a lot of, find things puzzles, I think is the best way to put it. You know, you interact with the environment, and you find a group of things, you do things with the things. If you successfully do things with the things, you progress. It's very typical, like, adventure game kind of mechanics, and nothing I've really had much of a complaint about. However, it definitely starts to feel a little old after a little while. That's a big one for me. However, my problem with the adventure gamey aspects in this one, actually, is because instead of just trying to find the components, it kind of is super unclear. So it shows this whole, like, passageway as if you're not supposed to walk down it, and it's dark and it's scary. Turns out you are, in fact, supposed to walk down it. In fact, you can't progress if you don't. And that kind of causes a problem for me, because I spent a little while running around trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And turns out you're supposed to run down that passage after you've got your jar of sap, or of your syrup, and then your 10 fireflies. Well, 11, but 10 fireflies. And then you paste fireflies to the trees, because that's not cruel or anything. But, yeah, it's a little weird. But the thing I actually don't like is how every single item has that, like, check or interact icon, or, option on it, because it made using things kind of annoying, if that makes any sense. And, the puzzle just, it really did feel rather unclear and unfun for me. This one was probably my least favorite part of this quest by a pretty wide margin. Luckily, the rest of the quest does things a little better. There is another one of these type of puzzles later in the quest, and it's handled a little bit better than this, I would say. It's got a totally different problem that I'll cover when we get to it. But all the non-search for things puzzles are particularly good, I will give them that. I just think that this one doesn't feedback very well. Progression feels a little weird, and you kind of just awkwardly have to do, you know, use this thing on this thing, and then go talk to a character, and use this thing on that thing, and just kind of hope you stumble across the correct way. It never felt like it was hinting me towards the correct answer most of the time. That's a bit of a shame to me. Anyway, I'll let this part play out as well. I don't really have a lot more comments beyond what I just said there, but hate to be down on the third puzzle of the quest, but yeah, I really don't like this one. I thought it was just very weak, not very interestingly handled, and just a little awkward overall, which is a shame. Alright, moving on. You can enjoy watching this part, and I'll shut up until we progress. So, yeah. Alright, hopping back in here. So this was the part where I finally was like, oh, you can walk down here! I just happened to mouse over it and was like, I'm clicking around randomly. And that's when I suddenly realized that I could mouse over the living trees. So you do that, you send them down here, and this is one of the parts where they actually successfully did not instance your progression. You walk down the path. I mean, technically they instance it because, you know, there's a cutscene that plays, but it was done in such a way that I consider successful, where it feels as if you're moving through everything. I really liked this. Progression is nice. You just walk down the path together as a group. She says some cute dialogue. She's all excited about the fireflies on the trees and everything. And then you make it through to the other side, and there's these little ice snow golem things. This puzzle's pretty cute, actually. I like this one. It just feels random. Why are these here? Why are they, much like moss golems, so easy to become headless? Who knows? But this is a little nice little two-part puzzle piece. First part doesn't really matter. She makes a face and then you're supposed to respond to it. It doesn't actually matter. Very conveniently placed snow pile, must say, just so convenient. But this part's cute. Basically, she makes faces for you. You make the faces out of snow, and then you throw the heads onto the golems. And it's just kind of a matter of clicking and hoping, because they move pretty quickly. So I mean, realistically, you're probably not gonna hit them for sure. So it was really just a matter of me clicking around. It was oddly cute and kind of fun. There wasn't really anything special about it, and it really wasn't all that great of a puzzle, but I just found it oddly enjoyable, and I don't really have a complaint about it, to be honest. So I'll let you watch this part as well. I'm gonna stop talking again. I know it's kind of long, but whatever. You get to watch the full playthrough, and I get to talk over the parts that actually matter. So yeah, you can watch me snowballing my way through this. Enjoy. Oh yeah, also I really appreciate when you succeed at the throwing, they go, yay! There's something just really funny about that. Alright, I'm gonna shut up for real this time. Alright, hopping back in here. Sorry about the clicking in the background. I'm doing a clue scroll. I'm just too lazy to record separately from actually playing the game, because why not? Anyway, so you successfully put the heads on, and then they have this cute little conversation, and she starts naming them. It's just really adorable, because I do a lot of work with little kids, and, oh my god, it's so little kid. Like, that's such accurate dialogue. Like, that is exactly what a little child would do. It's so cute, and I love everything about it. So you stroll over to the next part through some awkward instancing again. Grrr. And then, we're gonna do, another one of the search for things and put them on things puzzles. This was a little awkward, but there's a moment in this I really, really like. Why don't you leave this to me, this part, and then you go, stop! And you tell him you have a great roar, but this is her adventure. What a really great bit of writing that is. I really love that, because, you know, it's just, it's well done. It feels great, like, you know, the dad's like, okay, well, let's get her across and we'll keep going, and he's forgetting that the reason she wants to do this is because it's her adventure. She's ready to have a fun time. And I love that our, you know, Ramen wrote it in such a way where our player steps in and goes, "Hey, no, stop. You don't need to do that. She'll get it. You know, this is her story, this is her adventure. Let her enjoy it." I really, really love that. It's really great. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, the play part of this is fine. Very oddly convenient. Just, ooh, hey, would you look at that? Here's some more stuff that you need. There's top hats in crates and carrots in crates. Like, somebody was making snowmen here, is what we're saying. I almost wondered if it was like the Yeti dad, but he didn't really seem to present anything that seemed like it was actually him, so I don't really know. However, I do like the way that, you use her to get you across, and then it's actually followed up by probably my favorite puzzle in this quest. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this one, like I mentioned earlier, I said there would be another one of these puzzles, and I had a different problem with it. This one is just that it's, like, kind of stupid. You're building the snowman, she roars at the snowman, and then, like, the whole thing here is just, ooh, wow, so convenient. There's just everything I need to build the perfect snowman in these abandoned crates over here. Whoa! Wild. Feels a little weird. And, like, sure, our character makes a snarky comment about something like that later, and it was kind of funny, but, like, come on. Come on. It's just a little too convenient for my liking. Maybe that's just me, but, like, generally I like when things at least have a somewhat of an excuse for why they're happening, you know? But, whatever. Alright, so we stroll across here, we stick our hand into the water. And, I guess we just decide to do that randomly. I don't really know why, other than just the prompting here, but, I mean, so be it, I guess. But, yeah, so here comes probably my favorite puzzle. So we get over to this ice, and, similarly to the first Land of Snow quest, Myths of the White Lands, we have a sliding puzzle where we have to figure out how to get across. However, this time, it's not just us that has to get across. We have to figure out how to get Violet across, which means we actually have to arrange ourselves in such a way where we are next to her so we can push her in the direction we want. I had a lot of fun working out how to do this puzzle. This one was just really, really well designed. I loved everything about this. This was a really, really excellent puzzle. Ramen, you should be proud of this one. This one was great. Very similar mechanics to the Myths of the White Lands one. You can move diagonally. It's key to the progression of the puzzle. But she cannot move diagonally. You have to push her on a straight line. I am more than okay with that. I actually think it's probably for the best of the puzzle's design. And man, it's a really fun puzzle. I had a good time solving this one. This was a cool one. But it wasn't super complicated. After you got the hang of it, everything did feel like it was fairly easily placed. As a novice level quest that is intended for fairly new players and for the holidays, I understand it not being super hard. Myths of the White Lands had a couple that were actually like, ooh, okay, that's a little tricky. And I'm okay with that. I really am. But, yeah, that's just my thoughts on this one. But yeah, like I said, really great puzzle. I was really impressed by this one. It felt well designed, it felt clever, it felt very inventive and different compared to what we usually get with these ones. So good job, very good job. Alright, so we complete that puzzle, she gets across, and then Mr. Trevor here comes bounding across really dramatically. It's cool, it's cute. Yeah. So we instance, and then we stroll up here, and this is the third find stuff and make a thing. I guess this one's fine, really. It doesn't really have a big, like, negative to me. It's just cute. I like how we encourage the kid, and she seems very enthusiastic about it. I thought that was just very well written. Yeah, nothing special. But she suddenly has, like, some self-doubts here, and I think that's okay. Feels a little out of nowhere, but at the same time, it also does feel like a small child just suddenly going, wait, shit, I don't know about this. But this one does have one other problem, and it was very similar to the first one's problem, actually, which is, well, I think the progression on this one is a little better and a little more clear, because you're building something rather than just an open-ended, like, figure out how to let the child go through the darkness. This one runs a similar problem of there's some stuff off in a different place that you wouldn't really expect to be allowed to go. But, nothing too crazy. I don't really have a lot of complaints about this one, just you find the tinderbox off in the distance, like, back past where you would have walked already, except because it's instanced, you don't actually walk there. And that did... Okay, honestly, that annoyed me quite a bit. Yeah. But I don't have a lot of comments about this part, so again, I'm just going to shut up and let it play out. If you're watching this as a guide, you know, there you go. I don't know why you'd be watching this as a guide. The new RuneScape wiki at runescape.wiki is really excellent. Plug in that, because I'm a Wikian. And yeah, go ahead and give this a watch. I'm going to keep doing my clue scroll. Alright, so we get her ready. She gets to name the whole thing. I really like that touch. It's just cute. And then we head down into Yeti Town. And then the quest basically completes after that. And then I'm actually going to talk about the lore book that we find down there a little bit. I think that's really the most important aspect here. And we'll talk about that, and then we'll wrap this video up. There's about 10 minutes left in this playthrough here. So we won't take too long, I promise. But yeah, so she gets down into Yeti Town. There's some cuteness. She's all excited that she's made it. All the Yetis there are very friendly. I just really like this town. It's very cute. It's very well designed. I'd love for them to maybe not necessarily expand it massively, but just add some additional content there, you know, make it a little new player friendly, that sort of thing. Because this is a fairly early unlock, a new town, and all it's got is a bank chest and a fireplace. But it's cute, and I really like it, and I like all the characters there. They did a really nice job with this. The end of the quest is very adorable as well. Really great job on the writing here. I really have very few things to critique writing-wise, if anything. Actually, I would go so far as to say nothing. And I really enjoyed what you did with this ramen. It's very cute, it's very small. The environments are gorgeous. And the gameplay, for the most part, is pretty good. The more unique quests are really excellent. Puzzles. The more unique puzzles are really excellent. The less unique puzzles are, they're okay. And Yeti Town is just really cute. So after this quest ends, you can find 4 frozen ice imps, I believe is what they are. Snow imps. Snow implings. Yeah, you can find 4 frozen snow implings hidden around the village. That's what I start running around doing. I find 1, and then I noticed the achievement, so I started looking for more. I found all 4 of them. Yay me. And then, yeah, there's a lore book not too far from here. And that's really the most interesting thing about this end part of the update, is it actually tells you about Renmark. This whole book. I need to find the transcript for it, because it's very, very nice. But basically, the book essentially tells you, so here's how Renmark used to work. Gothic showed up and fought the creature that was in the middle. It confirms that the creature is not Zautak. We already knew that because Mod Stu had confirmed that it was not Zautak, but it's nice to have an in-game confirmation that the creature there is not Zautak. So they did a very good job here. But essentially, it tells the story of how the Queen of Snow works and how the 4 seasons of Renmark work. Basically, each season, when the season changes, it converts into a new land, and the king or queen of that season turns into the next king or queen. I thought that was a pretty interesting touch. Very fey, which is nice. I like that kind of weird fairy lore that they occasionally make use of. But I thought that was a nice touch. That was very interesting. Very unique as well, which is something I always appreciate. And she falls in love with the Summer King, I believe it was, which is her, but she doesn't know it. And they begin to write like letters and poems to each other. And then Gothic shows up and he fights the beast and destroys it. But at the same time, all of the 4 parts of Renmark shatter and become, you know, their own separate. The 4 people within the body of the Queen of Snow and the Queen of Holly and Hawthorn or whatever, they all separate, and the Queen of Snow is actually able to meet the King of Summer, whose name is Nick, and he has to bundle up every season because he's Santa Claus and they're married. And I thought it was a really cute way to kind of explain that lore without getting too on the nose about it. But the really nice part here is that interesting Renmark lore, explaining what's left of it and the creature that Gothics had to fight. That was just a really nice touch. It was a good addition. I assume Stu wrote it, but if he didn't, you know, well done to whoever wrote it. I thought it was very cute and it was well written. And it was written in a way like it was a children's story, and I really liked that because it felt like a cool children's story. You know, it was written very well, and it had that right tone to it where I could imagine, you know, a parent opening up a picture book and reading it to their child. Just really well handled, really well done, and I just really enjoyed that last piece of this quest here. It was a good piece of post-quest lore that I think added a lot to an existing piece of lore that, you know, a lot of us had in the lore community at least, had some questions about. So well done. Post-quest rewards are like 90k XP once you're above like level 80 in all skills or something like that. And just some good stuff. All XP and a title, and then also I think it's like increased XP at the GE training spot that they've added in. There's also the Christmas cracker for the holiday event. But this is like the primary event part of it, and I thought they did a really nice job with this. We're going to go ahead and let the rest of this play out. Not really a lot more I need to talk about, I think, and it's just a really nice quest. I'd give it probably a solid, like, 7 out of 10 if I was to give it a numerical ranking. It's an interesting quest. It's got some nice lore aspects to it. And it's just really cute. The characters are so well written, and that's really important when it comes to quests for me. The gameplay's hit or miss, and that's okay. It really is. I can't be upset if the gameplay isn't perfection when it's a novice level quest that's smaller, made for the holidays, and it's just a really cute addition. They did a really nice job with it, and I'm proud of them. Well done, cute quest. Really nice, permanent quest addition. I'm glad it was made. And yeah, happy holidays. Let the rest of this play out, and hopefully we will have a Society of Owls podcast for you sometime soon, just with finals, and especially with the holidays coming up. We of course haven't had as much time as we would have liked to record for you guys, which is a real shame. But I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. If I have some time, I'll try and record some additional stuff, maybe a reading of that book. I keep joking about the reading Reldo thing, but I really should just do it. It's funny. I don't care. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you so much for listening. You can check out the last 3 minutes of this in peace without me blabbering in the background. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!